Did you know that the Scream movies were inspired by a real serial killer? Well, you will now. Hello, true crimers. This is the case of Danny Rolling, also known as the Gainesville Ripper. Viewer discretion is advised. Daniel Rolling here was born in 1954 in Shreveport, Louisiana. As per the usual with most serial killers, he grew up in a troubled home. His father was actually a cop who said that, Danny, you weren't loved and we didn't want you. It's always good parenting. And by 1990, he actually tried to kill his dad. Family of the Year. By 1990, he had moved to, you guessed it, Florida. Gainesville, to be specific, hence the Gainesville Ripper name. On the morning of August 24th, 1990, he would break into the home of two college students, Sonia Larson and Christina Powell. He stood over Christina's sleeping body and just watched her for a while before heading upstairs. Now, the intent was to burglarize the home, because this was during a spree of burglaries that he was committing. He found Sonia Larson upstairs, and he stabbed her to death. No real reason, just did it. He then went back downstairs, woke up Christina, tied her up, sexually assaulted her, forced her to lay face down, and then stabbed her multiple times in the back, killing her as well. The next day, August 25th, he then breaks into the apartment of Christina Hoyt. Now, she wasn't home, so he hid in the apartment and waited for her to come home. That's not remotely terrifying. She walked in sometime after 11 o'clock that morning. He then snuck up behind her, tied her up, taped her mouth shut, sexually assaulted her, forced her to lay on her stomach while he stabbed her in the back repeatedly. He managed to actually puncture her heart. Now, Danny had left the apartment. He then thought, oh, did I leave my wallet there? So he went back. He then decided to decapitate Krista Hoyt. And then he posed her severed head to look at her dead body. Jesus. August 27th, he's not done. He breaks into the apartment of Tracy Paulus and Manuel Taboada. And Danny struggled with Manuel, but he managed to kill Manuel anyway. He then did the same thing to Tracy that he did to the other girls. This became national news. Louisiana detectives, they contacted Gainesville detectives and said, your cases sound a lot like our unsolved triple homicide that happened on November 4th, 1989. The murders of William, Julie, and Sean Grissom. Shreveport had vaguely considered Danny Rolling a suspect, and they found out he was in Gainesville. In November 91, he was charged with 8 murders. In 94, he was convicted and sentenced to death. He was executed in 2006. Womp womp.